Alright, Cryptonauts and Ravenites all around the world. Welcome to another special episode of the Ravencoin development updates that's just been going on a weekly basis. Of course, we just finished up the holidays here. We had Christmas and then we had New Year's. So expect that there isn't going to be much going on in regards to the development. So with that said, actually we are doing Twitter Spaces right now, and we have SOS, Reed, and Cryptolissa with us hanging out. So if you guys want to hang out in the future Ravencoin development updates, just hit me up on Twitter at BlockchainJohn. With that said, Cryptonauts, let's go ahead and see what is going on in the development meetings. So, as you all know, December 24th was a Friday, and Kinkajou opens the channel. He says, "Channel open, just in case," smiley face. Tron, that was, there's not even a time on there, is there? Let's see. Is there a timestamp on there? I don't think so. No. But anyways, literally the second response is from Tron. Let's call it. I think everybody is busy shopping for Christmas. At least the men who procrastinate. Merry Christmas, everyone. And then Kinkajou says, "Yep, sounds good. Merry Christmas." That's the end of the meeting for that Friday. That was it. All right, December 31st, of course, New Year's Eve. So the last one was on Christmas Eve. This one is New Year's Eve. So, I mean, like I said, you guys aren't going to really see much here for development meetings. But I just want to put it on the record. So here we go. Kinkajou opens the channel. Channel open. Seve responds, "Good afternoon and Happy New Year's. Probably be thinly attended again due to holidays." Tron responds, "Happy New Year's, everyone. That is supposed to be fireworks, not the COVID virus." And what he did was he posted a small emoji that kind of actually resembles the virus. Look at that. Very virus. Oh, by the way, you guys that are hanging out with me in Spaces, you can follow along with me in Discord Ravencoin server on development meeting. Right, Sever responds with I don't even know what kind of face is that. What kind of a weary face. Aww. LSJIO7 responds, "Hi." He got 2 hi emojis. "Just wondering if we are looking at the same timescale as discussed before. Still, new binary released early December or January. I have been drinking, honestly." Sorry. No, he didn't say that. He says, "I haven't been drinking, honest." You got a smiley face for that. Pathfinder said he does a wave. You got 2 waves back. Tron responds, "It is more important to get it right than out quickly. If a release candidate is ready for mainnet, it can be released. The foundation is not development, but will sign the Windows binary and help get economic actors and miners to review it and upgrade." He got 1 thumbs up emoji for that response. Alright, Pathfinder responds by saying, "I've been digging into all the different NFTs gated features of NFTs like BAYC and poolsuite.net. The ability to use an NFT in one's wallet as a pass, quote unquote, that lets you into a members only Telegram/Discord or website is a powerful and growing phenomenon. The NFT gating feature typically leverage either MetaMask or Wallet Collect. Would love to see a Ravencoin wallet have such a feature. I think NFTs used as membership tokens will really take off in 2022. Here's tech being used now for NFTs gated in Telegram and Discord." And there's a link here, it says collab.land. And Poolsuite is doing cool stuff with NFTs gated websites and more in the future. And there's another link, members.poolsuite.net. You guys in Spaces, you guys got any feedbacks? No? SOS? Lissa? Oh, Lissa, got to give you some talking rights. Here you go. Let the women speak. All right. Cool. Actually, let me do this. Here you go. Just in case anybody decides to come in. Alright, let's see where we at now. Kinkajou responds, "Just needs a browser extension like you said. Scotty has spun up a proof of concept for something similar to Rito a while back. And here's a little link to demos.keyvault.app. Pathfinder responds, cool. Kinkajo responds, I think Mango said he was considering work on a browser extension at some point. Pathfinder responds, well, with Wallet Connect, you don't need a browser extension. It's an open protocol you can build into a wallet app. And then he sends a link, walletconnect.com. Tron responds, I like the idea. I saw it in 2014 from Adam Levine as TCA, Token Controlled Access, using Counterparty. They use a slightly different method of validation. They had you sign a string using the private key of an address. This is built into Ravencoin core under file and sign message, quote unquote. That proved you own the private key. Then you just put the token NFT into that asset. The site can just verify the asset contains the token and let you in. With that said, I'd also like to see a browser plugin like MetaMask that would let you prove token ownership without an account. He got 2 thumbs up. He needs more thumbs up for that, man. I'm giving him one of my thumbs up. You guys should go in there too. Give some thumbs up. Pathfinder responds, also at Tron, let me know via DM and Twitter if there's any traction around a meeting with Suarez in Miami. I'll definitely be in Miami from April 2nd through 16th and would be honored to assist. Alright, Tron responds, this could happen if the STM folks can make an intro. Pathfinder responds, nice, very nice. Savvy responds, dope. Tron responds, does anyone know if Key Vault is open source? Question mark. Kinkajo responds to Tron with an @Scotty. So we'll see what Scotty has to say about that. And that there, Ravenites, is the end of the developers meeting for the past 2 weeks. Of course, not much. But guess what? In the development channel, where we're moving on to next, they actually have a lot going on. So I don't know if I want to go that far back to Christmas. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of updates. I guess I have to. What do you guys think? Should I go all the way back to Christmas and then move on forward? There's so much. There's so much being done.
Here.
Ah, okay. All right, thanks. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh man, that's a lot. I'm gonna be here for a good minute. It's okay. Well, my other computer updates to Windows. I don't even know what Windows 2500. I don't know. Jesus, feels like it's just updating forever. Okay, I'm scrolling up. Here we go. Jeez, there's so much to talk about. Okay, here we go. I found it. Okay, right here. Okay, so on Christmas Eve, Alfreas starts the conversation. Which one is correct? Question mark. For information, my Ravencoin core version 4.3.2.1-25A 2dbF41. And what is he talking about here? I don't know. He has a screenshot with it looks like that looks like the Zelcore wallet, to be honest. That is a Zelcore wallet. Okay. I know that because I use the Zelcore wallet. I recognize it. So what is he talking about? Let's see here. I don't know, but FDOV responds to Alfreas, probably all. I bet you have more than one receiving address in your core wallet. RV being just one of them. Alfreas responds to FDOV, yeah, that's true, but other are empty. I just emptied it recently. Before this it shows variant more than Raven 20. FDOV responds, Alfreas, wallet, options, wallet, enable coin control features, go to, send, click inputs. Okay, I'm actually I kind of want to, can I save that? I'm going to copy and paste that because I feel like I want to do that. Copy that, just push that into Notepad real quick. I'll look at that later on myself. But for now, just in case, I will give a thumbs up. Alfreas responds to FDOV. This already enabled. FDOV responds, good. then just continue to the next step. And here's a screenshot from Alfreus to now see, this is QT. Yeah, this is QT. He has a screenshot here with Ravencoin rig master income. Yeah, okay. FDOV response, there you go. Alfreus, select all and click OK, question mark. FDOV response, don't have to do anything. This is just to show you where the differences come from. Alfreus responds, I see. If I select all and click OK, what happens, question mark. FDOV responds, they will be selected as inputs to your send, but you don't have to send anything. It was just a procedure to show you that the wallet is aware of more than just one address, and the difference is the change. Alfreus responds, I see. So I need to clear this mess, I guess. Send all to centralized address. FDOT responds, you don't have to, but you can if you want to. If you want to do that, you can select all and send to yourself. Alfreus responds, because I giving dividend to all shareholders, and what they see in Explorer is different with what in my wallet. Thanks for your guide. C Clever jumps into the conversation. Just select them all and send to your own address if you want. JC Keen jumps into the conversation. That actually sounded really rude from C Clever, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound rude like that. Oh man, that's so evil. I'm sure he didn't mean it that way. JC Keen responds, minute 26. Ravencoin seems very outdated, though this opinion was worth sharing, not as negative criticism, but to encourage some reflection. Maybe this is a valid comment, maybe it isn't. Now, he posted a video here from Caveman Mining, which I've never heard of, and there's a Ravencoin logo right in the middle of it. So he says, check out minute number 26. Then I jump into the conversation on Christmas Day. Devs, what do you think about this? What do you think about trying this out? Credit to Deadheaded for this find. It is www.libriscan.org/#solution. And FDOV responds, to me, looks cool. No code yet, only docs and an idea from the looks. And FDOV post a link here to github.com/libriscan-org. LSJIO7 responds, at Blockchain John, it looks good. To me, it means people on other chains use centralized interfaces far too much that can be shut down. They don't use full nodes, and that causes issues if people rely too much on certain explorers or wallet interfaces. Running a full node and verifying transactions individually is a gold standard that we should not lightly put aside for centralized solutions. Interested to see what happens. Linux jumps into the conversation and responds to me. Yep, this looks interesting. For Ravencoin, we will have a software version of it. As Linux continues, the only challenge in this is that I suppose that you need to host and store for each blockchain the transaction list or get it through a node. And that is the end of the Christmas Day, basically. Yeah. No, actually, that was the 26th. Okay. Moving on to the 27th. As Linux continues or starts the conversation for the 27th of December, 2021. That feels like so long ago now. So far away. Do we have a RPC command to identify changes address both for coins and assets? I only managed to identify them once balance is incorrect or going into Qt interfaces with coins controlled enabled. Bad Guy TY jumps into the conversation. I think you can only check deltas off a known address. Cravetta jumps into the conversation. You cannot determine whether or not an address is a change based on or just the address. Bad Guy TY responds, oh, I read the question wrong. I was thinking changes in balances, not changes left over after a transaction. As Linux responds, I just want to list them. as they not appear in list of address account. So if I get account balance, I get good balance. If I ask all the address of this account, only the one created by me, not the changes, appear in list. At the end, when I do get address balance, I can miss some of the addresses not given before by other functions. If I only could get a list of those change address, both for coins and assets, I could check balance on it and sum it up with official addresses of the account. Bad Guy TY responds, I would run the get address right before trying an operation that needs current balances. Also, if you are trying to do lots of things in the same block, you will need lots of UTXOs, as you can only do one transaction with one set of coins per block. Granted, you can do a lot of activity in that one transaction, but the change is essentially locked till after the block is complete. SLinux responds to Bad Guy TY. Get address deltas. That's the correct one. That's the correct one I missed. SLinux responds to Carl Verde. Nope, but as I get them from special functions, I can later on if I tag them. Then a new person jumps into this conversation. I'm trying to pronounce the name here. Ionoi Kaz. Let's call him Kaz. Kaz. Did you have something?
I was gonna say Aninkaz, but yours was closer than mine.
Yeah, I know Kaz. Yeah, let's just call him Kaz. All right, let's see here. Kaz says, I have ample software experience but need to crypto dev. Where do I start? To help contribute even a tiny bit. Kaz. So Bad Guy TY responds to Kaz. Test the upcoming release version. The things to test should be available in either the main Ravencoin repo or in FDOV's personal fork. He got 2 thumbs up emojis for that response. Alright, SLinux responds, arf get delta only give me transactions, not the change address. Looking at the transaction, it only gives me the initial destination, not where the change has been placed. Anyone with a simple solution to obtain the change address like in the Qt app, let me know. I will put this on hold for now. And here's a screenshot of Nestcoin with an address there, with the received address. Okay. Okay. Continuing on from SLinux, he says at moderator legit link ? And non-profit response to SLinux, no. SLinux responds, was not sure but prefer to ask so you can clean it up and avoid others to click. Thanks. SLinux responds, so I replied to myself, but but this might save a few hours of basic investigations to someone else. It was in front of me once again, but still not yet completely aware of all RPC commands. List unspent. I assume that it give me changes address since unspent results of changes are also not completely finished my analysis, but I'm not sure if this is reliable 100% of the time, both with Raven and assets, but it is the simplest way to reach the address value. Otherwise, you may have to use the get address deltas and follow transaction ID to finally check the get transaction out returns something. That sounded so complicated. And here's a screenshot here of a smiley face on the transactions about the network.list unspent. And from, it looks like Qt. Alright, continuing on SLinux responds, I also confirmed that list unspent was listing this address only because the transfer that caused change required also to use some coins for the transaction fee, resulting in creating one change address where both unspent Raven and assets had been placed. As I was almost anticipating, if I do manually empty this change address from the Raven, that it was in. List unspent does not list the previous address anymore, despite the fact that there are still XXXX assets in it. Bad guy TY responds, if you are trying to do lots of things in the same block, you will need lots of UTXOs, as you can only do one transaction with one set of coins per block. Granted, you can do a lot of activity in that one transaction, but the change is essentially locked till after the block is completed. I like the idea of buying groceries. Groceries, you can buy all the groceries at one time when you want, but you have to give all the money in your wallet or wad of cash to the teller. That money is locked till the teller finishes the transaction. A new block is formed. Only then is your change handed back from the teller. Now, if you specify the change address, you will know where it is going, but you still can't use it until after it is back from the teller. If you don't specify where the change is headed, it just gets sent to the next available address in your wallet. Interesting. Now, what if I only have one wallet? Okay, so SLinux response to Bad Guy TY. For now, I just read the datas, not trying to write anything. Bad Guy TY responds, are you trying to track where the change is going? For other people's transactions? SLinux responds, I was trying to display the balance of a specific address that was supposed to own assets when I met the change address case. So in order to avoid this kind of issue, I was just trying to list those change address that are created after transactions to keep track of the balance of a user, quote unquote. Bad Guy TY responds, okay. And doing my P2SH testing, I hit this error code while trying to sign a raw transaction. Result, none, error code, -26, message 16, bad, TX, input, output, mismatched, bad transaction, assets, wouldn't be burnt, squawker, ID 7. Bad Guy TY responds to SLinux. This is why Squawker just sends the asset and change back to the same address. SLinux responds, yep, but I'm not building only a Squawker use case. Bad Guy TY responds, well, that and you can't really track a user if they keep changing addresses. SLinux responds, WX Raven must be able to track, at least for internal wallets, all those changes. If you want to provide a custodial address, account management, and or paying services. Bad Guy TY responds, which is kind of the point of having multiple addresses from one wallet seed that you can't track users easily. SLinux responds to Bad Guy TY, yeah, in fact, I'm not against that at all. And assuming that your user wants this feature as well, even if it's custodial account, this must be possible. Bad Guy TY responds, you just have to set it up that the change always goes back to the original wallet. I would use a P2SH address though if you are doing custodial stuff, so it's not completely custodial. SLinux responds to Bad Guy TY, yep, not a bad idea, but I needed to implement this anyways to track my internal wallet. Bad Guy TY responds, at FDOV, I found another issue in the create raw transaction transfer with message. I am sure there are workarounds, but it would be better to just get it there before release if possible. github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/pool/1113/commits/ a bunch of numbers and letters and hashtags and more numbers and letters and hashtags. 34.
Can you say that? Wait, can you say that one more time? I'm writing it down. Sorry.
I mean, I guess I could define 2 more transfer outputs manually, but that seems excessive, especially when I don't know what the change will be on the transaction itself. Bad Guy TY continues, well, that's what I'm going to try now, which seems weird. I would have to do it this way, but I guess it's just adding another layer of abstraction. That was an interesting conversation for the 27th. So if you guys want to know, or you guys want to read or look at these screenshots or these links, remember, it's on December 27th, 2021. Okay? On the Discord Ravencoin development channel. Okay? Continue on for the December 28th. As Linux starts the conversation, I wish I could love CPP as much as Python. Bad Guy TY responds, yeah, Python is where it's at. Yeah. Bad Guy TY responds, yeah, I'm having issues sending a portion of a P2SH transaction asset UTXO when all 5 transaction pieces are coming and going to the same address. So Raven in and change an asset in, out and change. JSON won't let me build the transaction going to the same address multiple times, and the create raw transaction doesn't allow for change. Do I need to make 2 separate transactions, one to send the asset, a second one to send the asset change, combine them, then fund them to define the change address for the Raven, then send it? Question mark. It seems to be having a hard time decoding the first transactions to combine them, though. Bad guy TY responds, the hardest part of this is you don't need change if you have the perfect change in the UTXOs, but if not, there is no way to split an asset UTXO unless it is going to 2 different addresses, which seems like a bug. Yes, that does seem like a bug. Bad Guy TY responds with a link to github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/issues/1174. I think there might be a decode issue for P2SH raw transactions also. I might try to sign them first. See if that helps. Bad Guy TY responds, I should really learn to read docs better, having spent a day trying to work around 1,000 different things with this P2SH issue only to realize that it needs to be signed. ... Oof. Then Blockchain John, that's me, responds, there are a lot of these pools that have a Discord server. I think it would be a good idea to also post the Discord links so that the community miners can connect and communicate with each other with other miners from their community pools of choice. I always have a hard time reading my own stuff. I don't understand. Like, who writes this stuff? That's me. Yeah. I can't read my own stuff. So here's the link. I was just kind of browsing through the GitHub, the Ravencoin GitHub, and I saw a link and I noticed that there's all the pools there, but none of them have like links to the Discord. So I'm like, a lot of these pools actually have Discords, and a lot of people are active in those Discords. So I said, hey, can we do that? I'm not much. I don't really know how to use GitHub, so that's why I asked. I'm like, hey, can we get that? I mean, I'll send it to them, but I don't know how to post it. All right, continue on. On the 29th, I guess apparently nobody responded to me. December 29th, FDOV starts the conversation. Bad Guy TY. What are you trying to do and how are you doing it? ? I agree that transfers should take a change address, but with create route transaction, you specify the ins and outs yourself. Just make sure to add a output to yourself for the change. This sum of the asset in the input and the sum of the asset in the output must be equal. FDOV responds, you can get some inputs from this directory. He provides a link to github.com/ravenproject/ravencoin/tree/develop/test/functional. Bad Guy TY responds, well, with Squawker, you are sending and receiving to the same address to denote what the IPFS file in the message is, e.g. messages, video, marketplace listings with atomic transaction. So you need to reference the address 3 times, but I think I can do it with combining transactions now that I realize that they need to be signed first. As the next response, hello here. I wanted to give some quick updates regarding WX Raven project. We just published the last development build. It contains significant changes and new features such as the asset search preview and navigation, plus more other stuff. Anyone interested in the project can reach out to me or here in DM. I would be happy to discuss about and explain it more in details. It's free, it's open source, it can do a wallet, GUI, layer 2, already allowing to do all the fancy stuff we want over the Ravencoin software. Ooh, I like that. Here's a link to github.com/slinux/wxraven. Okay, and continuing on, is that it? Yeah, continuing on to Crawvetta responds, are empty scripts not unspendable? Question marks. And he has a link here to rvnt.cryptoscope.io/API/get raw transaction/transactions equals a bunch of letters and numbers and some more letters and numbers equals 1 was spent here. And then he got the rvnt cryptoscope.io/API/get raw transaction/transactions equals a bunch of numbers and letters and more numbers and letters equals 1. Shouldn't that be 0? Which is an op_false ? FDOB responds empty ? And he has a screenshot. Oh, this is not a screenshot. How do you do that? How do you change the colors to that? That's pretty cool. I'm all amazed about the colors. Okay, so let's see. op_dup op_hash160, bunch of numbers and letters, op_equal verify, okay, pub key hash, okay, anyways, 4500 ended up in to this address, the rest in fees. Okay, Crawvetta the US, right, but the transaction has a op_false locking script / an empty one, and that's what he has here. Oh, there it is, 0. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is, right? Oh, actually, where would it be? Yeah, right here, right? Yeah, 0. Okay, Whale Street jumps into the conversation. Does an empty output script means anyone can spend it? ? Crawvetta responds, it shouldn't, at least according to Bitcoin Electrum. Whale Street responds, is that because it is non-standard? Does Bitcoin Electrum accept non-standard scripts? ? Crawvetta responds, not that it's not non-standard. I'll take another look at the stack pushes. And now we move over to December 30th. Bad Guy TY starts the conversation for the day. Okay, so I got all my transactions ready to be combined and all the individually decode, but this is the combined result. And the raw transactions, I am not going to read that out to you guys. It's a bunch of numbers. You don't want to hear that. Okay, TLDR combined raw transactions return the first transaction back. Crawvetta responds, FDOB responds to @Crawvetta. Is that a bug, or do you just have to supply a 1 to spend it? Bad Guy TY responds with, I'm not sure, more code. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain this. Transaction ID, hash, version size, v size, lock time, VIN, transaction data, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff there. So all 3 transactions are correct and what I want to combine, but it only gives me the one back as the combined transaction. Crawvetta responds, I may be confusing Bitcoin consensus with Raven. FDOB responds, don't we pretty much agree on handling of scripts? ? When you get 1 at the end, you can spend, but if you don't ask for anything, you can just supply 1 and get the coins. Crawvetta responds, right, I'll check it out some more. I just thought I read somewhere that empty locking scripts were not allowed, or maybe I can brick Bitcoin Electrum servers. FDOB responds, I don't know, have to read up on it. Wall Street responds to FDOB, that's my understanding. Seve jumps into the conversation with a link to twitter.com/JeremyRubin/status/numbers ?T equals more numbers and letters equals 19. And this goes to, I guess, a tweet. Interesting note about Bitcoin development. A normal salary developer grants will never work. I'd work on Bitcoin for free, so would a lot of other devs. Unfortunately, it costs negative $1 million a year in mental health dollars to actually work on this project. Interesting perspective, probably applicable to Raven presently or in the future. Yeah, that's true. I like that. Bad Guy TY responds, I only work on it because I want to see it succeed. And I mean saying that I created Squawker would be pretty cool if I even got big. As the next response, anyone here have some T-Raven to give, please? ? I'm about to test the asset issue featured in testnet and starting to get short in T-Raven. Thanks in advance. And he posted his test Raven address. And Bad Guy TY responds with a transaction ID. And as the next response, thanks. And let's see, F-Dog responds to Save with a smiley laughing emoji. What is that? ROFL emoji about the tweet. And he says, are there potential solutions, dedicated beds, and at mental asylums? Okay. Ouch. Seve said, ouch. I joked with someone recently that the incentive for working on Ravencoin is getting harassed by Joe Market. Joe's still around. I didn't know that. Hey, Joe. Shout out to Joe. F-Dub responds, Joe has a few good points. I don't mind him at all. But yeah, that's a good point. Not much incentives to do anything. The foundation is a complete failure, in my opinion, as many foundations before. As the next response, by the way, as soon as pool is available on testnet, please let me know. I will need more T-Raven and would rather prefer to get them autonomously. F-Dub responds, how many millions do you need? Sent you 2 million. As the next response, LOL, it's okay. Thanks a lot. F-Dov responds, have 25 million left. Won't need them all. Tried to send 5 first, but transaction's too big. As the next responds with a smiley face. Bad Guy TY responds, I'm not finding a way to add an output to a transaction, and if I do combine raw transaction, it only gives me part of it back. FDOV responds at Bad Guy TY, adding outputs, ? You just list them, don't you, ? Input 5,000, output 14,000, output 2,500, the rest becomes fees. Bad Guy TY, well, it doesn't let me submit 2 different outputs for the same address. This is where the change would come into effect, as it would add those outputs without needing to define those outputs separately. FDOV responds, why do you need to make 2 different outputs to one address? ? Bad Guy TY responds, that's the way Squawker works. By sending yourself an asset of varying amounts, you are declaring what the attached IPFS means. FDOV responds, why not send multiple transactions? ? Fees? ? Bad Guy TY responds, no, you can't split the UTXO with create raw transaction for P2SH addresses. That's correct. Yeah, he is correct. FDOV responds, but you can first make 1 transaction and send it, and then another and send it. And Bad Guy TY responds, but you can't. If you have a UTXO with 1,000 Squawker in it, you can't define where the change goes. FDOW responds, or you could make the numbers smart. In a way, you always know the combination for the sums. Understand. You cannot send 1 to yourself and 999 to the same address. Bad Guy TY responds, yes! FDOW responds, makes sense. that would just be stupid in most cases anyways. Bad Guy TY responds, with a normal address you can. Yes, I know it is stupid, but it is the only way that you can have a constant address for the purposes of knowing who is leaving the message and trust that it is that person. But it also allows you to find the relevant transactions of messages, marketplace listings, videos, etc. I would do it without the P2SH, but then it becomes custodial, and that's not decentralized. And with P2SH, my servers or the account owners can send the assets. Like if an account buys an NFT with an atomic transaction listed in the marketplace, I would want the account to be able to send it to themselves off the platform so they have control. FDOT responds, I don't know how your setup works, but could you ask for 2 addresses and switch them around? Question mark. I'm not sure, but I think the mempool tries to be smart and combine stuff going to the same address. Not sure we can fix this. Bad guy TY responds, maybe. I mean, I could just make sure that I send the UTXOs an exact change when I fund the accounts. The mempool does not combine them. SNX responds, do we have an RPC command to check the asset validity / availability? Question mark. I like, and here's a screenshot to, I don't know, what is this? I don't know, DSA? Okay. Or is this just executing the whole list of regexp I saw in the asset.cpp file? Question mark. Bad guy TY responds, I know this from being able to split them on a non-P2SH address. Bad guy TY responds to SLinux, I think so. SLinux responds, even with my search feature in the RPC helper, I did not find something close to that. Bad guy TY responds, this works. Get address data, quote unquote, asset underscore name. It returns nothing if the asset isn't used. SLinux responds, okay, for the non-used, but then that means I need to also check regexp as well. I was hoping to skip that. Bad guy TY responds, the mempool will complain if it's invalid, or should. SNX responds, I will do some tests. And smiley face. Bad guy TY responds, I am of the ask forgiveness, not permission school of thought. It's the Pythonic way. FDOB responds, SLinux. Here's a link to github.com/fdoving/ravencoin/assets/assets.cpp/#L33-L331. This is the check. RPC issue will give one of the errors listed there if you try to make something you shouldn't. The GUI uses this function to test and get error messages. At BadGuyTY, how exactly are you doing it to get this error? Do you send it to or from a P2SH address and to or from more P2SH addresses? Question mark. BadGuyTY responds, well, if I send to the address, I get the this will cause asset to burn, quote unquote, message from the send command. I tried making 2 transactions and combining them, but that didn't work. Defining 2 outputs to the same address doesn't work as it's not valid JSON. FDOV responds, from the multi-sig address, question mark. BadGuyTY responds, yeah, the multi-sig can create the raw transaction to itself, but the change is the issue. There is no defining asset change location in raw transactions. I think you might be able to get change from Raven with fund raw transaction. FDOB responds, if I want to test this, I make a multisig with some assets and some Raven. Then I create a transaction from this multisig to send the assets back to myself in 2 outputs, 1 and 999 as an example. BadGuyTY responds, yes. Basically, you can combine 2 UTXOs, but not split them with P2SH addresses. I suspect this might also eat your Raven UTXOs if you P2SH send an asset to yourself, same P2SH address. This might also be the, now this wouldn't be the issue if we had change options in create raw transaction. F-Dov responds, you shouldn't need to. You just add another output. Change, if no different than anything else, is just an output. Bad guy TY responds, yes, but you can't define it as it's invalid JSON and have two addresses in the same JSON dict. F-Dov responds, looks like testnet is stuck again, question mark. Dang it. Bad guy TY response, I haven't been able to send any transactions I want to, so I don't know. F-Dov response, I started a miner. He continues on, at bad guy TY, this error, right? Invalid parameter, duplicated address, and there's the address, code -8. Bad guy TY response, I hadn't gotten that one yet. Is that from adding a second output manually, question mark? F-Dov post another, I guess, transaction. Create raw transactions, transaction ID, numbers, letters, vout, 0, more letters, numbers, transfer, ASDF, letters, numbers, transfer, ASDF, 999, input 1000 Raven, 1000 ASDF, output 999.8 Raven, 1 ASDF, and 999 ASDF, 0.2 Raven for fees. And here's a link to github.com/bitcoin/bitcoin/issue/23877. And with a modified client, I got this, a bunch of numbers and letters. So it looks to be more complicated than removing the throw. Or maybe it will work. I don't know. I just need to get some sleep. You can try to comment this. github.com/fdov/develop/src/rpc/raw transaction.cpp #L678-L680. Bad guy TY response, K. I'll look into it. Thanks. As Linux responds to FDOV, thanks. That's why I love Python. I almost did the same, no brainer, in one single function plus an array. And I'm sure it can be coded better. And here's a screenshot of something of something. Not even sure. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's something though. But I have to admit, for user error feedback, I still use a bunch of if else. SNX responds with a what is this? A party face and a point up, and a screenshot of WX Raven. First asset issued from WX Raven on first try. Yeehaw! On testnet. Thanks again for the T Raven, by the way. And Seal Clever responded with a market up emoji. And FDOV responds on New Year's Eve. He starts the conversation on New Year's Eve. FDOV responds, bad guy TY. Whenever I try to send more than one output to the same address, the value is copied from the previous ones, like this. Create raw transactions, transaction ID, numbers, letters, vout 0, transaction ID, numbers, letters, vout 0, numbers, letters, 998, numbers, letters, transfer ASDF 1, numbers, letters, transfer ASDF 999, gives this result. Transaction ID, hash, version, size, vsize, lock time, bin, transaction ID, vout, script and sig, ASM, hex, squents, transaction ID, vout, okay. You know what? This is interesting. I want to take a closer look at this. I think I just connected some dots. No, I have no clue what I'm talking about. If you look at the value of output 0 and 2, they are the same because they are both targeted at this address here. Output 1 is fine because it has its own target and to this address. This transaction does not work as the input doesn't hold 999 998 plus 998 Raven. For Raven, I think it's stupid behavior and could be considered a bug. For Bitcoin, it makes sense. FDOV responds, so you can basically use your own address as change for both Raven and assets, but not send to the same address in the same transaction. FDOV continues on, at Craverde, you closed number 1175? No issues? Question mark. Craverde responds, I think so. There doesn't seem to be any fundamental issues with a zero lock-in script, and the unlock did with a non-zero. FDOV responds, good. You got a thumbs up for that. Craverde responds, at FDOV, I lied. There is an issue. Lock-in scripts comes last, so a 0 is at the top. Okay. So FDOV responds, I found this. bitcointalk.org/index.php question mark blah blah blah. Is empty script pub key non-standard or illegal question mark. Happy New Year's! Happy New Year's from Craverde. And Jaraz starts the conversation on January 1st. Finally catching up. You guys still with me? Did you guys fall asleep? We're finally here. Finally to the next year. Yes. You're here?
I'm still here. I'm reading it with you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh man. Okay, give me a second. Let me just take a sip of some water. Water. I don't know about you guys, but I do find this fascinating. When I get to read it, sometimes there's just some stuff that just doesn't go out to the public.
I definitely do too, for what it's worth. I followed Linux X. I forget what exactly his name is. He's on the RVNFT Discord and drops a lot of stuff about this project he's working on. It looks super cool to me, and it looks like it's going to be one of those things that other people can build on top of. It's not going to just be its own product.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool looking. I don't really follow, to be honest, all this transaction talk. I mean, like vaguely, I kind of understand what they're doing, but I don't get the nitty gritty yet.
I think, yeah, I'm the same way. It just sounds like they're just trying to prevent a double spend. Yeah. All right, let's continue on. January 1st, 2022. Happy New Year's. Gerard starts the conversation at Kinkajou. Why does this look weird? Hold on. Yesterday at 22:35, just needs a browser extension like you said. Scotty had spun up a proof of concept for something similar on Rito a while back. With the link demos.keyvault.app. Scotty had it working on Raven, but nobody was using or testing it, so he shut it down due to the lack of interest. IIRC. At Scotty, here's the Key Vault demo. And let's see, Kinkajou responds to at Jaraz. I was not aware it was ever working for Raven. I certainly would have used it at least once to test. And then you got a little crying emoji there. Sob. It's written in Java, right? Question mark. Happy New Year's, by the way. And you got a thumbs up for that. Tug jumps into the conversation. Anyone ever done a P2 pool for Raven? Kinkajou responds, not successfully, no. The current supported P2 pool release for Bitcoin and Litecoin is written for SegWit, so you would either need to fork an older release or do a fair bit of work to the current. One may then need to redo a significant portion of this if Ravencoin decides to support SegWit as well. One of many reasons we should stop delaying and add the damn thing already. I would really love to have P2 pool support for Ravencoin. Tug responds, I was looking at github.com/s/cherenka/P2 pool. It doesn't seem that complex functionally, but BTC would definitely be a better match than XMR. I'll think about it. I'd write it from scratch for sure. Silk Clubber responds with a link to en.bitcoin.it/wiki/P2pool. I'm going to read this. Sounds lovely. JC Keen jumps into the conversation. We need an easy-to-use token faucet. See tweet. And you got a tweet here from JC. We need a Ravencoin token faucet. 2022 is poised to be an amazing year for Raven. As I think about this, a few things come to mind. Don't we have Ravenclaws? Yeah, we have Ravenclaws. Kinkajou responds, doesn't at push ravenclaws.com have one? I just said that! Freaking guy, man. Why are you copying me? So JC King responds to Kinkajou. Just started looking at that. Funny thing is I had seen that before, but I didn't understand what it did. Faucet.ravenclaws.com. JC Keen responds, okay, I played with it for a while and sent Raven to it and I can't make it work. I'll contact Push. Steel Clubber responds, I think it doesn't have any assets in it anymore. There should be enough Raven in there for transaction fees. Oh, so somebody just swiping up the all those assets. That's a bummer. Come on, man. There was like thousands of stuff in there, so somebody's swooping all that up. That's the thing. There should be like a limiter on there. You know, like that's what you should put. Just like, if you're gonna withdraw something, you limit one transaction per withdrawal. Right? What do you guys think? Okay. Let's see.
I second that.
Yeah, but he wants to, Push is more like it's open to the community. It's somebody else is gonna put it in there. If somebody else wants to take it all, let them take it all. Just let them spread it around. If they believe that they can do more good with it than bad, then the idea is put it in the hands of the community to decide what to do with it. So hopefully somebody out there is holding all these assets and is maybe, I don't know, giving them a rate, just promoting Ravencoin. Anyways, continuing on. Silk Clubber responds, I think it doesn't have any assets in it anymore. There should be enough Raven in there for transaction fees. Yeah, there's plenty of Ravencoin in there. There's plenty. Alright? You don't have to worry about that. Jaraz responds, not sure. I'd recommend to reach out to him. Happy New Year's. That's for January 2nd. My birthday! Crawlbetter responds, you can also send 0 Raven on testnet to the cryptoscope.io API gateway get raw transaction ID. Now, I don't know if that's an issue. And who's this? H Nugs jumps into the conversation. Well, had a breakthrough. I removed the parameters after the amount, and it was successful. Parameters. There's an address there, and there's the output. Worked. So now I need to figure out what's wrong with the other stuff. Looks like the comma is needed. So I think the RavenQT helpline may need an update. Calistrom jumps into the conversation. Can you send assets using the debug console? Can't find that command. SLinux response to Calistrom issue. And here is a screenshot with all the commands. Awesome. I am actually going to save this. So I'm going to save that. I think that's what that is, right? Looks like it. Yep. Yeah. The Raven CLI command isn't working with the extra parameters. This is from HNugs. Raven CLI send from assets to this address 0.9 true. JSON value is not a string as expected. Even adding just the first comment optional parameters fails. As Linux responds, yeah, because using he CLI or debug command, you often need to transform your parameters to in JSON one like address xxxx. As Linux continues, at BadGuyTY, I took some time and tried to go ahead with IPFS. I got a node set up on a AWS server which I SSH to local, but gets some connection errors using API. All the rest works fine. Do you know if any config is required to allow API? BadGuyTY responds, config on what? The API? SNX responds, trying to use the IPFS HTTP client, but IPFS HTTP client.connect return errors even on basic IP4 address. So I guess I'm missing a config somewhere to allow API. I feel like I can help here. I don't know why this looks like I understand what he's talking about. Dude, let me help you out, bro. I'll help you out. Nah, I don't know what I'm talking about, man. Your computer's gonna blow up. Don't trust me. I don't know nothing. Go everywhere. Go everything else running and responding at HTTP with an address IPFS. Well, let's check this out. Let's check this link out. Hold on. I want to see what this is. Yeah, of course. It's a local address. You can't connect to that. Bad Guy TY responds, yeah, not sure. I did mine locally. That's the next response. I think I got the PB. As you mentioned, it might be because not in local, but having SSH tunnels should make it transparent. Strange. As the next response, better now. HTTP error 405 client error method not allowed for URL localhost 5001 API v0. The channel is true. Crawvetta responds, trying to set up a IPFS gateway? Question mark. SNX responds, well, just to connect to it with API. All the rest works fine, web serve, etc. But the IPFS HTTP client returns 405, not allowed. Even if I did allow put post get. I hate those network stuff that makes you lose a day to be able to write 2 lines of code. Yes, I know what you're talking about. No, I don't. Crowd the response. Everything is written with a strong assumption the API server is running on the local node. Make sure your IPFS daemon is explicitly got it. Explicitly listening on 0.0.0.0 and not 127.0.0.1 with a reverse proxy. The IPFS daemon automatically adds a check of the client IP to make sure it's local when the listener is 127.0.0.1 and will reply with 405 when a non-local IP connects. Feels like a poorly implemented security check. The web UI won't work due to cross-site scripting issues when trying to connect remotely. IPFS add on remote API servers is an inefficient disaster. That's from github.com, IPFS/go, IPFS/issue/7586. SNX responds, yep, saw that as well, but this I solved. Crawvetta responds, roasted a year ago, LOL. Ow, got it. How'd you solve it? Crawvetta says. SNX responds, no, sorry, I saw that and thought it was part of the issue, yeah? Listening on 0.0.0.0 and not 127.0.0.1 with a reverse proxy. I did try, but no real effect. Crawvetta responds, what about SSH tunneling? SNX responds, also, I'm not sure to understand all this, but my SSH tunnel do allow me to connect. Crawvetta responds, you could do local tunnel to spoof a local connection. Using 127, it's what I have, responds SNX. Crawvetta responds, I see. Success! SNX responds, 127.0.0.1, 5001, get me to AWS website, and all that shit works. Crawvetta responds, oh, I'm saying on the server side. Run the gateway on, say, 5002 and port 5001 to 5002. External connections to 5001 becomes internal to 5002. Got it. As Linux responds, lol. As Linux continues to respond to his own message, points up. Yeah, this. Crawvetta responds, this how networking works. As Linux responds, yeah, we'll try. Crawvetta responds, if you... Jesus Christ, how much do I got? Hold on a second. Am I almost done, you guys? Yeah, finally, I'm getting exhausted. We're almost there. Crawvetta responds, if you don't know literally everything there's to know something breaks. I'm assuming you understand whatever security risk IPFS states are possible. I don't know them. That's the next response to Crawvetta. Not sure to understand your comment. Crawvetta responds, just making sure you read up on the docs about security. If it's throwing fits for external connections, there's typically a reason. SNX responds, "Oh yeah, but I do not plan to publish it." Crowd rather gets a thumbs up, or he says he gives a thumbs up. SNX responds, "It's for the test purpose and curiosity satisfaction. I'm good using Ravencoin IPFS, but to be able to dev on IPFS API, I need one. I think I will just bypass this doing a stupid API to remote control a local API. The dev version of your port forwarding proposal." Grobadder responds, "What's the purpose of the DAG? Why is it needed if each block's Solon is independent? Couldn't find anything good on Google." Grobadder responds, "Yee, but why? What is the purpose of which? The Wikipedia or ETH? POW requires this aside from nonce and headers. Why? If clients..." I feel like he was having a conversation with somebody and those messages have been deleted. What do you guys think? It sounds kind of weird here.
Sounds super weird.
Yeah, he's like responding to somebody that's in between these responses. But it seems like those have been deleted. I wonder who that is.
Maybe somebody got blocked.
But their messages would still stay here, wouldn't they?
I don't think so.
Ay. POW requires this aside from nonce and headers. Why? If the client generated on demand, blah blah blah, unrelated. Stone Slasher jumps into the conversation. Maybe this is better for you. HackerNoon.com, a beginner's ultimate guide to DAGs. HNugs responds to Slinux. The command was basically taken straight from the help in Raven Qt wallet. I need to modify the syntax from that to run in the debug window. Slinux responds, "I could not answer specifically to a command. Also, I'm not using the debug window anymore thanks to my tool. But for the issue command, I don't think so. Having the RPC call in front of me right now in Python through RPC is all pure string." And this is the string that he's talking about, and I don't even know how to say that. I'm already going cross-eyed right now. Almost done though. SNX response to HNugs, "Not to make promotions of my own work, just a bit, but if you start exploring RPC commands, suggest you look at github.com/slinux/wxraven. I developed a Python shell with native RPC in it, plus command helper. You can find a look detail of each command. Between many other examples of implementations around the tool itself, just the shell plus command helper, I can't do without any more." Tug responds to Quaverde, "In the context of ETH, it's basically just for entropy within the hash functions. In IPFS, it's very different. They chunk files via a Merkle tree and call it their DAG. Found this video on it." And here's a YouTube link. "I don't know if that's what you were asking though, since Kapow uses the eth-hash DAG." Does it really? Does it? I don't know if that's what you're asking though, since Kapow uses the eth-hash DAG. I didn't know that. So there's like a little bit of Ethereum going on in Ravencoin? Is that what? I'm confused. Chieftain jumps into the conversation. Raven support on Wolfram when? And I don't know what this is. What is it? Oh, here's a link to reference.wolfram.com/language. Let's click on that. Yes, I got a virus. No, I didn't. It looks like I don't know. Working with blockchains. The Wolfram language has built-in capabilities for interacting with blockchains. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I think I will keep that. Thank you. I like finding stuff like that. That's a gold nugget. I'm gonna give him a thumbs up for that. HNugs responds to SLinux. Thanks, SLinux, but this is getting more complicated than I was looking for, and I'm not familiar with Python. Ultimately, I'm hoping someone can just run a simple test in the RavenQt wallet to confirm that yes, I'm doing something wrong, and the send from address command with all the parameters works just like the example shows. Bad Guy TY responds to FDOB. I figured out the solution, which I should have seen from the beginning. Basically, I'll send the change out to the server address and then send it back in the same block. Not the way I would like to do it, as it does, as it, what? I would like, not the way I would like to do it, as it doubles the transaction fees, but that seems the only way to split the transactions from raw transactions. Wow, that was complicated. That was very difficult to read. SNX response to HNugs. Depending on your needs, I can help you, but the command works. I did start on that too. Also, you don't really need to learn Python to use my shell, network.command, or ravencoin.api command, high-level homemade API. SNX response to HNugs. You get always a error message to explain what's wrong. HNugs responds. Trying this command as is from RavenQt helps result in a JSON value is not a string as expected, code -1, but that's it. But that's all it gives. I'm not sure which value is the problem and have tried numerous modifications without any success. Send from address, and here's the address, and there's the 2, which is the same thing, yeah, and that's the amount. That is true. The same command without the optional parameters is successful. Substituting a valid address from the example, of course. Bad Guy TY responds. Splitting transactions does not seem to work well, as it looks like what you are trying to do by splitting, I mean sending from yourself to yourself. HNugs responds. I've tried separate addresses as well. Same results. Ultimately, I think it's just boiling down to syntax. Bad Guy TY responds. Sometimes I have seen it take basic arguments fine, but then requires exact JSON formatting when where you send it in as a full-blown JSON object where the wording and syntax have to be correct. HNugs responds. If I send a transaction through the GUI, is there a log that shows the specific command that was executed? Bad Guy TY responds. Not that I know of. He continues with a link to Discord. I guess Pathfinder. Can you write up some standards docs around integrating this into Raven? I would really like to link this into Squawker at some point. Having a single address that has all access that has all your access tokens, assets, and such is kind of part of what Squawker is based around. I would like there to be a defined and consistent methodology. Okay, around it, as I can see the Squawker protocol becoming a central tool for interacting with Web 3.0 from a Raven blockchain. I'm basically looking to get a RIP we can vote on. Yeah. That's the next response to HNugs. So I look back at when I was doing this still manually in the debug console. Send from address XXX to XXX amount. This was working for me. As side note, if your wallet is encrypted, you need to first unlock it. Wallet phrase, password, time. That's the next response to HNugs. So, looking at your command above, try to remove useless/optional parameters is true. Yeah. HNugs responds, yes, it works without those, but I'm trying to use the true parameters to include fees. That's the next response. Yeah, I remember that at some point I got tired of this because having the same issue. Got a thumbs up for that. An optional param. I'm not sure, but you must convert / parse better your inputs. At the end, calling the RPC API removed me all those issues. I send directly casted variable, not piece of string, and pray to be true or whatever is expected at the target. And what? I gotta type something here. What a long read since Xmas Eve. Thanks for your hard work. Peeps. And that's it. Cryptonauts. I am so exhausted. My voice is gone. I need some hot tea. With that said, until Friday or sometime, whenever I decide to jump onto the next Ravencoin developer meeting, or you can definitely join yourself every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can jump into the Ravencoin Discord server in the developers meeting channel and talk to them about whatever you want to talk about. They're all there. So with that said, until next time, stack sats and hodl. Adios.